Welcome back to Gooner Fanzine TV after a dramatic night at Anfield. Arsenal lost 5-4 on penalties to Liverpool in the third round of the Carabao Cup after a 5-5 draw. An improbable, ridiculous, fantastic, awful, dreadful, terrible, mesmerising 5-5 draw that has left us all completely bamboozled as to what to make of it. Obviously got Dan the Man Mountney, who's just come from the press box and Unai Emery's post-match press conference. Where'd you start with that, Dan? What was Emery like?
He talked a little bit about the performance. He said, it was a crazy game, as I think we can all agree on. And he said, as a supporter, it was a game that I think everyone enjoyed. I was disappointed with the result, but I think that's football, isn't it? After that kind of game, you can't really kind of legislate for what happened, can you? So
no. Well, yeah. What did he look like? Did he look shell-shocked? Did he look happy, sad? Confused?
He just looked a bit exhausted, to be fair. I think everyone did. I know I am.
I feel I've lost my voice as well.
But yeah, a lot of the questions were on Mesut Ozil, obviously.
Yes, well, that's what we're going to come to, basically. Obviously, Emery hooked Ozil, I believe, at 4-4 when it looked like Arsenal could have done a bit of creativity and pushing for a fifth. It's not 0-0. You don't have to keep the game tight. Obviously, Guendouzi's got his qualities as a defensive midfielder and he can attack as well. But surely he would have kept Ozil on the pitch to try and go for the fifth goal, basically. What was he asked and what was his reaction?
He was basically asked what he thought of Mesut Ozil's performance and he was full of praise for him. He said he played really well and he was impressed with him. And then in terms of the substitution, he said that before the game they had discussed it and that obviously he hasn't played a lot of minutes this season, which for me is Emery's down to Emery, and he said that they discussed it and that they agreed 65-70 minutes he'd come off, so it was kind of a pre-planned substitution. And then he was also asked did he regret taking him off, and he said no, we felt it was the right time, which personally I disagree with.
Yeah, I mean, where'd you start with that? I mean, basically, to start with, you've got your plan, okay, great, but you've got to think on your feet, and if you think the player's doing okay, don't take them off because you've got a set formula agreed before the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, what was your take on that?
Well, to me it looked like he didn't want to win the game. You've come to Anfield, you were 3-1 up and you've blown a lead, it's now 4-4. But you've got the most creative player on the pitch. I thought Mesut Ozil was fantastic tonight. I thought he was superb. Especially for that Maitland-Niles goal. That was incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was just the wrong time to take him off. It looked to me like he didn't care about winning the game.
I think his natural conservatism and cautiousness is holding him back, has held Arsenal back as well. Yeah. And it's just, there was no need for him to substitute Ozil at that particular point. No. And Arsenal could have done with Ozil taking the penalties as well, for that matter. What was his? Did anyone ask about the penalties? Just out of interest.
No, there was no questions on the penalties. It's just what can you say? With penalties, it's just you throw everything out the window, don't you? It's a case of who's on it in that moment.
Absolutely. So. In terms of, was there any questions asked about Hector Bellerin?
Yeah, there was, and it was just kind of how he thought he got on and whether we'll start him in the Premier League. And he said, he played really well. He said the same thing about Lucas Torreira as well, and that tonight was important for them to get minutes, and that every player has a chance of playing. So, a bit of a nondescript answer in terms of if he'll play at the weekend against Wolves, but I think, we could see him back in there. He looked good tonight for me. Yeah,
and Hector Bellerin obviously showed his leadership qualities at the end of the game. Yeah. We did a tweet, he came over, we filmed him as well. He was basically making sure Arsenal fans are okay in the sort of crush for a couple of the goals, basically. And Rosie was one of the fans who sort of got her head knocked completely accidentally by jubilant celebrating Arsenal fans. So for Hector Bellerin to come over and make sure Arsenal fans are okay, after checking with the steward he was allowed to do that, shows real leadership qualities in my book. Yeah. There was no questions asked about sort of Bellerin's potential leadership qualities.
No, unfortunately. But for him to step up, you're a fullback. Other than Stuart Pearce back in the day, I can't really think of any fullbacks who would be happy to kind of take a penalty.
Well, yeah. And for me, first penalty as well in front of the Kop.
Exactly. In front of the Kop, first penalty taker. He stepped up as Arsenal captain for me tonight. Yeah. Obviously, as you said, I didn't see that after the final whistle. I was Timsy changed my match report.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think just from a footballing perspective, to step up and take that penalty, the first penalty in front of the Kop, shows he's a real Arsenal leader. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm talking about rewrites in match reports. I remember doing one at a 3-3 draw here a couple of years ago on a freezing cold night, but I don't envy you
Wasn't
tonight.
Much warmer tonight.
No, I don't envy you doing a rewrite on a 5-4 plus penalties. But just in terms of other players and Xhaka obviously was not in the squad today. We know he's going to be rested anyway. Was there any questions aimed about Xhaka at all?
No, there wasn't. I think that was kind of a topic that Emery was keen to avoid. There wasn't any questions on it. So, I think that's something just to leave for when he's there, which I think is probably the right thing to do, just considering he didn't play tonight. So, there's obviously been lots of questions at his presser yesterday and after the draw against Crystal Palace on Sunday. So I think it was probably quite pleased that no one asked about it, really.
Yeah,
so.
But in relation to sort of Bellerin's leadership qualities, there was no sort of contrast or any sort of questions aimed at him?
No. It was always just a question about his performance and field play. So.
Okay, and in terms of positives, what positives did he take from tonight then?
Well, just that his team went out and attacked with intensity and they played with a good tempo. I thought that was a real positive from tonight, as did he. Yeah. It was obviously, he wasn't happy to concede 5 goals. I don't think any manager would be. Yeah. But yeah, he seemed to take positives from it, and I think there are positives to take from it. Obviously, there's lots of things, as we already knew, to improve on. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to talk about player ratings now, but first of all, I've just got to get your personal take on that game. Well, it was ridiculous. I tweeted this afterwards. It was obviously kind of in the moment. I was just writing. I didn't stop. I don't think. Yeah. But after it, it's just like it's a disappointing result for Arsenal. You don't want to be knocked out of the cup. But it's one of those games that just makes you appreciate football. I mean, tonight was brilliant. It was the most bonkers game I've seen in a long time. Yeah. And it was just one of those games that you just sit back and think, well, do you know what? Despite the result, that was really enjoyable. Yeah. I mean, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. I mean, it was an enjoyable game. It was an absolutely maddening game and a frustrating game and a joyous game as well. It was all those sort of qualities rolled into one, wasn't it? Maybe it's an Arsenal thing, because I remember on this day, I mean, someone was saying earlier, on this day in 2012, Arsenal beat Reading 7-5. In equivalent round in the League Cup then. So there's just goals in the League Cup, basically. Well, Serge was just showing me a stat as well before you arrived about, I think it was the last teams to score, was it 4 more goals at Anfield? And Arsenal done it, the team to do it the last 3 times. So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was here for the 4-4 and that was ridiculous.
Was this more ridiculous?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. I was there for the 4-2 when Liverpool beat us in the Champions League quarter-final. That was dramatic. That was a horrible night. That was quite dramatic. But a 5-5 draw, I don't think I've ever seen a 5-5 draw. I've seen a lot of games.
And then penalties as well. It was just crazy.
Well, I mean, Serge said that as well. There was more goals in the 90 minutes than there was in penalties, basically, which is ridiculous. 19 goals on an evening, basically.
I mean, there was some quality goals as well. I mean, former Arsenal man Oxlade-Chamberlain, that was a brilliant goal. Yeah. Willox was superb.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
I mean, he showed his best qualities just in that goal, to get the ball deep, run at players, ride a few challenges, and then just smash that strike, just top corner. It was curling with power. It had everything, didn't it?
Absolutely.
And then Maitland-Niles' goal was brilliant, just for Mesut Ozil's piece of skill, wasn't it? I mean, to have that kind of quick thinking as the ball's about to roll out of play just shows his best qualities for me. Yeah, that was absolutely glorious. That was great to see such skill, such quick feet, such quick thinking to set up his teammate to slot home. And what was good as well was the sort of bond between the supporters and the players in the celebrations afterwards for both of those goals, Willox and I mean, don't get me wrong, I love sitting in the press box, and I'm so lucky to have the job that I do, and I know you'd agree with me on that.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
That was one of those moments where I thought, do you know what, I'd love to be in there.
I must admit, there was limbs, there was scenes, there was all sorts going on anyway, and it was fantastic. 6,000 Gooners. I come up there in October '88 for a 1-1 draw. There was 6,000 Arsenal fans that night. That was a crazy night. That was, but a 5-5 draw. It was just absolutely ridiculous. So what can you say really? But just a point on Oxlade-Chamberlain. There was booing from the Arsenal fans. It wasn't everyone, but I've had messages from people who were saying it sounded quite loud on TV as well. None of us agree with that. I clapped him. Serge clapped him.
Well, I mean, I tweeted this. It was obviously when I think he was 1-on-1 with Bellerin down on the left-hand side, wasn't he? And there were quite loud boos for him. Yeah. I did tweet that, and I thought, you know what, that's a bit harsh. Like, he didn't. Obviously, his contract was running down, but we've seen Arsenal players in the past run down their contract and go for a free. And he was committed till the end for me, and he obviously wanted to move somewhere else. And fair enough to him. You can't argue that. But I do have to say that there was a point when he went down to take a corner, and there was quite loud applause from the Arsenal fans.
Yeah, that was
important for me.
Yeah, we were in that corner, so hopefully that was part of us that was doing that. But you're right. I mean, all he did was basically run down his contract, like you say, and then go to a team that's won the Champions League. Basically, he's always been respectful. He's never slagged Arsenal off. He's never. Someone tweeted saying he was in a Liverpool shirt before he signed. That's nonsense. He wasn't. If he'd have done that, obviously he would never been forgiven. But I've actually interviewed him as well at London Colney, and he's a really good guy. Yeah. And he really cared about Arsenal. Obviously, it didn't work out. Yeah. That happens. That's football. You move on. I don't understand why anyone booed Oxlade-Chamberlain tonight. I really don't.
The thing for me with Oxlade-Chamberlain, he talks about his move there. Obviously, we all want to see players who stay at Arsenal for X amount of years and build a legendary status, but players had to look at it from their perspective, and he wasn't progressing at Arsenal. He kind of plateaued. He wasn't really going anywhere. So he took the big step and came here. And for me, just based on his performance tonight, I think he has improved as a player. So fair play to him for saying, do you know what, I need to revitalise my career. Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree. Spot on there, Dan. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, player ratings. Give us your player ratings then. So we'll start with Emi Martinez. I think there was nothing he really could have done about the goals. I mean, a couple of them were just superb strikes. Obviously, Origi's overhead kick and then Oxlade-Chamberlain's. Didn't really make many other saves. I thought it was just, pretty bang average, middle of the road performance. I gave him a 5.5. Just
5.5, okay.
I mean, goalkeeper, if you concede 5 goals, you can't really get any more than that for me. But I don't think he could have done anything about any of the goals, really.
Yeah. I mean, the fact he has conceded 5 and didn't really do anything in the penalties, not that you expect to keep it to. I'd give him a 4.
No, fair enough.
Then, yeah. Next.
And then Bellerin, probably looking on this one on reflection, I probably should have given him higher, but I gave him a 6. I thought. I mean, you mentioned there with the goalkeeper. I think getting back 4 that concedes 5 goals, you've got to look at and go.
Yeah.
But I thought he got forward well, especially in the first half. He was pinned back a bit in the second, and he looks like he's getting back to his best. Obviously, off that long-term injury. So, I gave him a 6.
A 6, okay, yeah. I mean, you're right. He did bomb on in the first half. He looked full of running. He obviously still needs minutes. Still needs to get up to really real match fitness. He needs to be sharper. I'd give him 10 out of 10 for his leadership qualities.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, 6.5, maybe 7, because I love Hector Bellerin, basically. But, I think that's fair enough.
I gave Mustafi a 4.5. Obviously, he scored that own goal when he didn't really do much in terms of good defensive work.
Yeah.
I think he could have, either him or Holding could have stepped out for both of Origi's goals. Obviously, the first one was that turn on the edge of the box. Someone's got to step out and close him down.
Yeah.
Can't allow a striker that much space. And then he was unmarked for the overhead kick, wasn't he?
Yeah,
So, poor performance from Mustafi. So, 4.5.
Yeah, I think just because he is part of a backline that's conceded 4 goals, 5 goals, I should say, sorry. It's just not good enough, basically. He was left flat-footed for a couple of goals, like you say. I'd have given him a 4, basically,
I think I've been too nice here.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I gave Holding a 5. Looked a bit off the pace, obviously, as he steps up his injury recovery. But I think that'll be a good game for him, where he's having to do a lot of work, and that'll obviously help his match fitness.
Yeah.
So, I mean, same points as maybe Mustafi about both Origi goals. He probably could have been a bit more proactive and stepped out.
Yeah. And I think you're absolutely right, and I completely agree with that. And also there was times where his distribution just wasn't good enough. He was over-hitting passes. He wasn't playing the simple pass when he could have done.
That comes with time after an injury.
Absolutely,
yeah.
But at the same time, if you're doing that, you're losing the ball. You're losing possession,
true.
which is not good enough in a game like this. So I'd have probably given him a 4 as well. So.
Okay. Kolasinac, I gave 5.5. I think he got forward well at times. Cross is poor again.
He can't cross, can he?
Can't cross.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he just can't.
Yeah.
There's no nice way to put it. He just can't cross.
Yeah.
And then, I think he struggled a bit defensively, especially when Elliott came over to that side.
Yeah.
But I think purely based on the fact he got Arsenal forward at times, 5.5. You're probably going to give him less, aren't you?
I'll give him 0 for his crossing, and that's how the whole of his Arsenal career.
So
basically.
Start giving him a crossing rate.
Yeah, we should do. Yeah, and maybe 5 again for 4 or 5 for his defensive play, but 0 for his crossing.
Yeah,
not good enough.
and it gets a bit better from here on in. So I gave Lucas Torreira 7.5.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought he was really, really good in the first half. He controlled the game, obviously got his goal.
Yeah.
I think he showed his best quality in terms of recycling possession. There was a lot of times when crosses into the Liverpool box were cleared and he was the one there winning the ball back for Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think he lost a bit of control in the second half. I think he was harshly taken off as well. Really didn't agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the game was what? 4? No, was it 5-4 at that point?
Couldn't even tell you. I think it
I don't know.
was,
But I think
decision, anyway.
he's one of those players that you can't really take off because he offers so much defensively and he has that ability to play Arsenal forward as well.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have taken him off personally. So I thought he was really good tonight, and I hope he starts in the Premier League on Saturday against Wolves. So 7.5.
7.5. I'd probably agree with you. I mean, obviously, he played well. He got the goal. Yeah. He did hold his position well. He looked good going forward. He was really good in the sort of dirty things that you need him to do, scurrying around. Yeah. I liked him, and that is why he should be playing ahead of Granit Xhaka in my book.
I bet the thing with his goal as well that impressed me was it was obviously in that box for the first chance that he was a bit behind him, but he stayed there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You'd see a lot of players kind of be a bit frustrated and maybe walk out the box, but he stayed there and he was in the right position when Arsenal needed it. Yeah. I've had a Liverpool fan message me and say he was offside, but I think after the VAR issues on Sunday, we'll have that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then Joe Willock, at half time, I had him down as a 5.5 because I thought he was really poor. He didn't really grasp the game by the scruff of the neck. But in the second half, when Ozil went off and he moved forward, I thought he was really good. Yeah. He showed his best qualities. Obviously, his goal was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We know he's at his best when he's got the ball at his feet and he's running at players.
Yeah.
So I upped it to a 7 in the end.
Yeah, I think I was just thinking that as well. I think a 7 because he did look lively when he was more further forward.
I don't think he's suited for the deeper role because he's not really built for the defensive work. He's built for running at teams and being a box-to-box player.
Yeah, you could see Mustafi and other defenders sort of talking to him, having robust conversations.
He obviously needs that help, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
exactly.
So
but he was
good to
obviously
see them.
absolutely. But in terms of positioning, it was just wrong,
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
because, like you say, he's not a defensive midfielder, basically. And when he went further forward, he did look more effective. Yeah. And his goal was a cracking goal. And the fact that he celebrated in front of the Arsenal fans as well was just wonderful, basically. So yeah, I'd agree 7.
I think in terms of his positioning, I think. Do you remember when it was Cazorla and Coquelin played as two holding midfielders, and you saw Cazorla play a little bit further forward, so he could dictate the play and get forward?
Maybe
I think that's probably
was,
probably his where he best be suited, because he's better deep, but not too deep.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maitland-Niles, I gave a 7. I thought he was better tonight in an attacking role than he has been previously.
Yeah.
I think for Martinelli's first goal, I think he was the one who put the cross in that was fumbled by the keeper.
Okay, yeah.
He did well, because I think the first one was blocked, and he had kind of the wherewithal to get back on it, beat the full back and get the ball in. Obviously, he scored. There's a lot of Mesut Ozil as well, wasn't it? But you have to give him credit for closing down the back pass and having the intelligence to kind of lift it over the keeper.
Yeah.
So 7 for me was better tonight.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I thought he showed character throughout the game. That was one of his best performances of the season, really.
He stepped up to take a penalty as well.
Stepped up to take a penalty, I was going to say. Yeah, absolutely. So But that's the level that we want Maitland-Niles to be at, and that's the level of character we want him to show every week. And he did it tonight, basically. So long may it continue.
Mesut Ozil would have been a man of the match had it not been for someone further forward. We won't ruin it yet. I gave him an 8.5. I thought he was brilliant tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, the assist for Maitland-Niles' goal was superb. But if you just watched him throughout, he was always finding these little pockets of space and pulling players out, allowing people to go beyond. Created a fair amount of chances, didn't he? And he just links everything so well. And I think he showed tonight why he should be playing week in, week out for me, because he has that quality that no one else brings.
Absolutely. It was joyous to watch him tonight. He just glided through the game. He was as influential as a Mesut Ozil can be in a game like that, and it was wonderful to watch. He showed quick feet, quick thinking to set up Maitland-Niles for the goal. He was as effective as he can be, basically, and that's the level you want Mesut Ozil to be at. And the thing is, if he is at that level, A, why take him off, and B, you're right, he's got to play on Saturday against Wolves. Basically.
I mean, a lot of the criticism surrounding him has been that he doesn't run around enough, and 2, he doesn't perform in big games. Obviously, it's a weaker Liverpool team tonight, but to come somewhere like Anfield and perform like he did and dictate the game for me, and he put in a fair amount of running as well, I thought. Much better from him. Absolutely.
You say weaker Liverpool team. He's still had James Milner out there, had Origi, obviously the Ox as well, a few other players too.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't...
and the Liverpool youngsters, they're not here
mugs,
for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, they've obviously got bright futures ahead of them.
I would have given Ozil an 8. I mean, would you give him 8.5? It was great to see him on form, and it was strange for him to be substituted, and it's a real shame. He needs to play Saturday, basically, doesn't he? So
and then Bukayo Saka, I gave him an 8. Thought he was really good tonight, especially for that third goal, Martinelli's second goal. I mean, just to have that kind of tempo and intensity to press, win the ball for the fullback, and then he gets his head up. That's the important thing for me. You see a lot of players in that position, they get their head down, they run at goal, but he got his head up. You saw Martinelli put it on a plate for him. I thought he was full of energy tonight, and he looked really bright for me.
He never gave up, did he? He was really, really tenacious in terms of him looking for the ball, running off the ball. There was good movement there. He showed character in terms of never giving up in a quite a difficult game, really. Certainly a ridiculous game in terms of just the possession and the sort of ball retention or lack of it by both sides, really. So I was really impressed with him tonight. Probably maybe 7.5. He's a real prospect.
I would say is that I think it's the case with a lot of young players, but he needs to use the ball better in some situations. There was a point, I think, when he had the ball on the edge of the box. I think it was once or twice it happened, and he had a pass on to someone on the outside, but he took it himself. I think that's just the case of a young player who's keen to impress. So you can't really slate him for that. I thought he was good tonight, so I gave him an 8.
Yeah, absolutely, and that will come as well in terms of his experience.
It's just youthful naivety in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and his sort of match nous as well, that will come, Right.
But someone who is young and doesn't show any naivety for me is Gabriel Martinelli. I gave him a 9. I thought he was absolutely superb. He showed his best quality for me is something that you only see him take one touch, and that's his predatory instincts in the box. I mean, you look at both goals, he's there first time. He's there before anyone else, especially with that first goal he scored where the keeper spills it and he reacts quickest. And he puts it in a place where the keeper's not going to save it either. And then obviously he's in the right place for the third goal. And he took it well. He put it in the top corner, didn't he? I mean, it just shows what a good finisher he is. He's always someone who's going to run. He's going to run at people and cause problems. He's lively and he runs his socks off. I don't know where Arsenal found him, but they need to go back and have another look. If there's someone else like that, I think there was a stat. So he's got a goal every 53 minutes for Arsenal now. And he's the first player to score in his first 4 games since Ian Wright.
Fantastic, yeah.
So,
What's that, 7 goals for the season, isn't it?
6, I think.
Was it 6?
6 or 7, yeah, 6, I think, yeah.
Could have thought it was 7, yeah, who knows. Yeah, I mean, they found him in the lower leagues in Sao Paulo, the Sao Paulo State Championship, basically.
4th division, isn't it?
Yeah. And I've written about it extensively over the summer, and basically Edu and Cagio, I'm trying to pronounce his name. He was reserve. He was a youth team player in the 1988 Youth Cup final. Basically, he played against Doncaster Rovers at Highbury.
That's Cagio, not Martinelli, just man.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. We'd be worried how old would Martinelli be, but and they basically just they kept tabs on him all through, his progression over the last year or so, and they basically had dossiers. They watched videos of him at London Colney. They were really, really well briefed on him, and for 5 or 6 million, they were like, right, we're going to do this basically, and they did it.
He's a class player. He's going to go far for me.
Absolutely, and there's so many young players that Arsenal have signed who you've gone, right, okay, he could be a potential good player in a few years' time, or he's one for the future. Martinelli's ready now. Yeah. He's absolutely ready now because he's got the right attitude. He's really tenacious. I've said it before, he doesn't mind balling out more experienced colleagues. His running off the ball is exceptional. He can play with his back to goal. He's good in the air. He's got a good touch. He's quite strong. There's so many qualities that he's got basically, and he really, really excites me. 3 goals in a night if you count his penalty as well.
Yeah, well, he's all in front of the Kop as well.
Yeah, exactly.
For an 18-year-old, that's no mean feat, is
absolutely,
it?
Absolutely. So we can be very, very pleased with his performance tonight.
And as for the substitutes, I gave Guendouzi a 6.5. I thought battled well. Yeah. Did his job. Did what was required of him. So 6.5. As for Ceballos, I gave him a 5. He failed to make an impact on the game and obviously missed the penalty. But you can't really rate a player down for missing a penalty.
Exactly.
Shootout.
You win as a team and you lose as a team,
exactly.
don't you? So.
And then I gave Tierney, just didn't give him a rating because obviously he came on late on. Can't really judge a player off 8 minutes of action. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, just one spot. I mean, well said. I mean, I completely agree with what you're saying there. Do you remember on the podcast on Monday night you said Martinelli was going to score a hat trick, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, and
close.
Yeah, 2 out of 3, and he did actually get 3 goals tonight. So sometimes you do know what you're talking about. But
of course I do. I'm not on there for a reason.
Thank you so much for watching. On a very, very dramatic night at Anfield, we're still slightly confused as to whether that's a good performance, good result, good all-round sort of play from Arsenal or not. Emery made a couple of really baffling decisions again, which is slightly worrying. Arsenal's attack looked really, really potent. The defence, again, slightly worrying if you're going to see 5 goals. We move on to Saturday. There's a lot of questions to be asked, certainly in terms of Ozil. Will Ozil play? But yeah, thanks for watching. You've heard our opinion now. We want to know what you're saying, what you're thinking. Like, comment, share. And thanks for watching. Basically, we've got probably a 5-hour drive back. Going to try and find a KFC for Dan, so hopefully we'll do that. But yeah, thanks for watching on a very, very dramatic and ultimately disappointing night for the Arsenal at Anfield. Cheers.